Hi, it's Amy Kosh, and welcome to your Unstoppable Life coaching tip for the day. Today we're going to be talking about passion and meaning, and I had a great post from someone earlier today who asked, where do we find our internal motivation for change when we're feeling stuck? And we've all been there. We've all felt stuck. Hi, Marcia. We've all felt stuck, and sometimes you just feel so stuck that you're like, oh, I just want to crawl back into bed. I don't want to do anything today. So how do we find our motivation when that's the case? Hey, Tom. So I love this question. Thank you for the hearts. I love this question because we've all been there. We've all been totally stuck. And there are a couple ways that we can deal with this and get ourselves moving again. So first, because I am totally practical, I want to give you guys a hand mudra. Mudra just means position, but a hand mudra that will help clarify your mind and settle it. So if you take your right hand and you lay it in your left, just like this, and you put your thumb gently right over here, and you just rest your hand. So you're holding your right hand in your left, and you just rest it right there. And let the weight of your hand, you can rest it on the table, you can rest it in your lap. I'm going to hold it up so you can see what I'm doing. But you want to really relax your hand, your right hand into your left, just for a minute or two. And if you do this as you're sitting in a meeting, people will just think that you're paying very close attention to what they're saying. So you can do this anytime. But that hand position actually calms your mind a little bit. It lowers the beta activity and brain wavelength, and it allows the alpha waves to step in a little bit. So it's going to make you feel a little calmer and be able to think more clearly. So that's the physical piece for today. So back to that question about how do we feel stuck and how do we get internal motivation going when we really are just like, ugh, I don't like what's going on, I can't think straight. So go back to the idea, the question of like, what has passion and meaning for you? Passion gets you rolling, and meaning keeps you going. So take a moment and feel free to throw it in the comments. I'd love to see what people come up with. But think about passion. Passion is the fire that gets us going. Passion is the thing that keeps us moving, even when it might feel like the whole world is falling apart. How do we ignite that inner fire? And by ignite, I mean blow on the fire that's already there, right? So if you've ever been to campfire or a cookout, right? You know, you lean down really close to the flames and you blow on them to get the sparks going. So what flame already exists in you that you know is there? What are you really passionate about? For me, I'm really passionate about writing poetry, and I'm really passionate about working with my clients because I love seeing their spark come up. So what makes you, what already is inside of you that's already a passion of yours? It could be artwork, it could be welding, it could be any number of things, right? It could be swimming, it could be dancing. I have friends who are really passionate about blowing bubbles on the top of a mountaintop, which happily they send me photos of. So what's your passion? And then meaning keeps you going. So the meaning that you give it is what keeps you moving forward. So once you've identified one of your passions, because you might have more than one, what's the meaning that that passion holds for you? For instance, writing for me, when I'm writing, there is this passion because I'm playing with the words and I'm able to put my message out into the world. Hey, Scott and Melissa, thanks for joining us. So we're talking about passion and meaning. And so identifying the passion that you have in your life, just one of them, you may have many. And then the meaning that keeps you going. So feel free to throw it in the comments too, so we can share these. So once you identify this passion, okay, so for me, I was saying that writing is a real passion of mine. And the meaning that it holds for me is that it's another way for me to put my ideas out in the world. It's another way for me to communicate. And because lots of people tend to comment on my writing, because sometimes I'm a little direct, I get some feedback and I get to collaborate and I get to be in conversation with other people. And as you can see, that already makes me a little fiery and it gets me really moving. So when we connect our passion with our meaning and what that passion holds for us, what it allows us to create, what it means to us, how important is it, that's what keeps us moving forward. So if you had to choose one thing right now to work towards passionately, what would it be? Take a moment and maybe jot some things down, but see if there's one in that list that really feels like this week, this is the thing I want to work most passionately towards. And then notice as you're writing that list down, is there one that really feels like, oh, that's the one. That's the one that has the fire for me this week. And it might be the same the next week, or it might be different. That's okay. And then if you could have that right now, if you could create that goal or that thing that you want to work towards, if you could have that right now, what would it take? So what do you already know you need to do? Maybe 3 simple steps, but what do you already know you need to do to achieve that, or to have that, or to build that fire? What do you want to work towards now? And what would it take for you to do that? And I'm not talking about it would take millions of dollars, right? I'd love to live in Italy. That would take millions of dollars. But if what I want to work towards is living in Italy part of the year, what do I have to do today, tomorrow, and Thursday to make that a reality, to move myself closer to that? Well, I should probably brush up on my Italian, for one. So what would it take for you all? What's the thing you want to move towards? And then the second question, because again, when we give things meaning, that's what keeps us moving forward. So as we have built in meaning and we understand what meaning does this hold for us, it keeps us going. There's the key to keeping motivation going. So what makes this goal important to you? For me, I love Italian culture and I love writing. So maybe I would find a way to combine those 2 things and be able to live in Italy for part of the year and write the whole year. But for me, the reason that it's meaningful is, as I said earlier, that writing is the way I get my voice out in the world, or it's one of the ways. So Marcia says, I'm struggling to find my passion. Okay, that happens a lot, right? And sometimes we are struggling because we feel like the passion that we think we have, somehow we've told ourselves that that's not a reasonable thing to have. So try this, Marcia. What would it be like if you close your eyes for a minute and let yourself imagine you're 20 again, or 10? Is there anything in there, like the thing that meant the most to you? What connects you to that younger self that doesn't have all of these constraints about, oh, I have to make a living and I have to do this and I have to walk my dog 3 times a day and I need to make dinner? If you let all that go, what's one thing that gets you excited when you think about doing it? And for all of us, right, the one thing, hi Francesco, so the one thing that gets us excited, that keeps us moving, so that fire, which is our passion, and then the meaning that we give to that, so the meaning that we allow to keep us moving forward. So again, we're talking about working towards something passionately, and if you could have that right now, what would it take? What makes it important to you? So again, for me, writing is something that's really important for me. So what it takes for me is to sit down every day for at least 15 or 20 minutes and start writing. And sometimes it's crap that I'm writing and it's terrible and I think, oh my God, I'm never going to put this out in the world. But I'm still sitting down and writing. And sometimes I write about the fact that I'm stuck and I'm getting really ticked off the fact that I can't think about what I'm writing. That happened the other day on a post I was writing, and I ended up publishing how pissed off I was that I couldn't write, and something actually came out of that that was pretty fun. So again, now that you're thinking about what makes this important to you, right? What makes that passion important to you? Where's the meaning in it for you? How can you continue to remind yourself of the meaning as you go through your week? So what is it? What does it take? I'm a big fan of writing on mirrors. So I'm always driving people crazy because I draw things on mirrors or I write little sayings on mirrors. So I remind myself every morning when I wake up, this is the thing I want to pay attention to. This is the passion I want to be remembering every single day this week. This is the meaning I want to be remembering every single day this week. So where's the meaning for you? How can you continue to remind yourself of the meaning for you, for your soul, for your heart, as well as for your mind and your body and your life? As we remember and we remind ourselves of the meaning of our passion, it helps keep reigniting that fire and growing it larger. So what are you going to do this week? What could you do every single day this week to remind yourself of the meaning of your passion, to remind yourself of that passion? And start with something small. If you're having a problem figuring out, okay, what the fuck is my passion? Start with a small idea. Make a list. Just jot down a list. And I love this. There's a sentence fragment piece that works really great. So you can just write a sentence that says something like, my passion is, or if my passion was, and fill out 20 of those within 2 minutes. So just write down 20 sentence completions for that in 2 minutes. If my passion was, and write it down. And then read through it and just note which one or two feels like, oh, there's something juicy in that. There's something there for me. Don't worry about whether you know what it is or you understand it. It doesn't matter. But look at what those two things are, or that one thing is. And then ask yourself, where's the meaning in this for me? Where does it become useful for me? So I want to go back, for those of you who joined late, I want to go back to that one helpful physical piece. This is a hand mudra that will help you calm your mind and calm your energy a little bit so that you can help yourself remember your passion, remember the meaning. So for anybody joining us at this late date, what you do is you take your left hand and you put your right hand in it and you place your thumb right over those tendons on your wrist, and then you relax your hand. So I'm holding it up right now just so you guys can see. Okay? But what you want to do is you can actually just relax it down, hold it in your lap. Right? But just so you can see what it looks like, I'm holding my right hand in my left and I'm letting my right hand relax completely. So there's very little pressure there. I'm just supporting my hand. And notice as you do this, if you close your eyes, you relax your hand down on your table or your lap, and close your eyes for a moment and notice what happens in your body when you do this. What happens in your mind? And the great thing about this mudra is that it works no matter where you are, although I don't suggest doing it driving. But you can do it at a meeting, you can do it standing, you can do it sitting. It won't matter. It's just as effective. And if you're doing it while you're talking to somebody, you tend to calm down enough to really hear what they're saying and to figure out what you want to say next. So it's super useful, super practical, works anywhere, and you always have it with you. The other added benefit is because it is a kind of open gesture. If you're talking to somebody who's a little heated, like a boss who's having a bad day, and you're listening with this hand gesture, two things happen. You'll be able to listen more clearly for what they're really talking about, and they're going to see that you're in this open listening position, and they're going to calm down too. So that's about it for our coaching tip of the day. I want to thank you for joining me for this Finding Your Internal Motivation talk about passion and meaning, and thank you to HR for posting the question to get us started today. If you have any questions about the topic, any questions about the hand mudra, please feel free to private message me here on Facebook. You can also find me on Medium under An Unstoppable Life. And you can find me on my website, anunstoppablelife.com. I'm Amy Kosh. I'm a life coach. I also teach meditation. You can join me Facebook Live 3 mornings a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time for a 5 or 8 minute meditation. And it's always fun to have lots of people join. If you found this useful, please share these videos out. My whole goal in coaching is really to let people know how to be happier in the world. And I love practical tips, so share it out. And if you want extra one-on-one coaching, or you're interested in some direct coaching or support around a challenge you've got or somebody you know, please send them over to my website or have them private message me here, Amy Kosh, anunstoppablelife.com. Thanks all for joining, and thank you so much for all the hellos and the love. Thank you so much. Share it out. Have a great evening. Bye.